All right, so welcome everybody to the Sewer Advisory Committee meeting. It is today, August 15th, 6:30 p.m. here at the sewer plant. We're getting started with approval of the minutes, right, Randy? Is that what we're
Correct.
gonna do?
I'd so move.
Second? Was that the last one? I think I was. I can second.
Yes, you can. All right. Any discussion on those? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on to the plant manager position here.
Okay, the district advertised for the plant manager position. We had 10 applicants. We had scheduled to have 5 interviewed. We had 1 drop. We did interview 4 applicants. In attendance for those interviews was from the city, Mark Dorsey, Public Works Director, myself, Jim Hart, Commissioner, Jerry Lundberg, Commissioner, and Tracy France, our HR person. Of the 4 candidates, at the end of all the interviews, we had all agreed unanimously after discussion on 1 candidate. That person name is Marty Grable. He has a background where he has worked at Tacoma, City of Tacoma, in the treatment plant. He contracted for Taylor Bay for operation of their treatment plant, contracted for Hartstein Island for operation of their treatment plant, and Mason County hired him to contract to oversee their operation of their 3 treatment plants and to fill in as an interim quasi-utility manager during some transitions they were having in their utility department. He has been given a conditional offer of employment. The conditions were a background check, drug and alcohol screening, which are good and acceptable to the district. And one of the things that we have to be aware of is with the interlocal agreement that was entered into between the city and the district, is that we have to have express consent from the SAC committee for the hiring of the chief plant operator. And with that, I have a resolution prepared for our elected officials to go ahead and make the motion and approve for his employment on Monday, August 20th, pending all approvals.
Has Mark talked to you guys?
No,
So we approve someone we haven't met.
we haven't met yet.
I have talked with Mark pretty extensively, and he spoke very highly of the process and very highly of the applicant. He said it was interesting that Randy and him seemed to have the same takeaways in terms of there was a lot of concurrence about what was seen of the applicants. So I know Mark approved.
He's a very motivated individual. He's a very driven individual. He is he's just one of those people that, is going to be involved. Not somebody's going to sit in office, disappear. He's going to help move this place forward. He's very budget oriented. He has a lot of good qualities.
When do we get to meet him?
Well, if I thought it was appropriate, I would have tried to have had him here tonight, but I would say after we hire him, we'll have him at the first SAC meeting in October.
Or you could bring him to the city.
Yeah, I was gonna say
council.
bring him to the city council meeting.
And I'm okay with that. But is there any kind of like a background that or bio we can look at?
I could.
I mean, have you guys seen it or anything?
His
Yeah.
the application and resume, yeah.
Just the application.
Right. And the
Yeah, I haven't
interview
seen that.
process.
Yeah.
It's hard to approve of someone when you have absolutely no information. I mean, we do take your word for it.
Right. And I totally understand, yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
is the resolution here?
I do not have the resolution here.
Okay,
So
so
is
you weren't
it gonna
expecting us
have-
to do it tonight?
It's gonna be at our next council meeting, or when are we gonna see it?
The resolution would be for West Sound Utility District's elected officials.
Oh, okay.
Our agreement with the city states,
I mean, depending how it's written, I'd be comfortable with something like based
Sure.
on the recommendation of Mark Dorsey and
Well,
Randy
Yeah.
Screws, blah, blah, blah.
Randy,
but-
when were you hoping to bring the resolution?
the August 20th and start him on August 21st.
And when is our next utility committee meeting?
September 17th.
Okay.
So was he supposed to be approved before?
Well, I'll read you the language, or you can read it yourself.
Is it here?
No, it's not
Okay,
there.
okay.
This is the
I'm sorry,
agreement
it's not
that was
catching.
entered into between the city
All right.
and the district in 2014. And let me find this section here. It's amazing how many times you read these documents and then you've got to find it. So it falls under maintenance and operation of the SQURF. Maintenance and operation of the SQURF shall be conducted as follows. Under section C, it identifies and states employment of the chief operator of the SQURF shall be made by the district only upon the express approval of the advisory committee.
So we don't need to do anything, or?
We're
Or
the
we are the
advisory, we
advisory
are.
committee.
Yeah.
You are the advisory.
But there's, you have a majority right now, whether we voted or not.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't see how we can vote
Well,
without
it's not,
anything.
it's not a vote, it's an agreement.
An agreement.
What it says is, that's why I don't hope Mark had shared that with you beforehand, because.
No.
Right.
No, we have heard
Yeah.
nothing.
And we did miss a meeting last month, so maybe
Yeah.
it was.
Oh, no,
No, it just happened.
Yeah,
just
it was
happened.
2 weeks ago,
Two
Okay.
weeks.
week ago.
I mean, we
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
have something to look at, like either the resolution language to look at, or even a.
If
a
you
bio to look at.
want to give me a few minutes, I'd be more than happy to go print that information off for you.
And maybe it's something that you guys could review after this meeting, and then Mark and I could call you individually. It sounds like we have a little bit of time before the 20.
Next
20th
Next
next
Monday?
Monday.
Next
Oh.
time.
It is
No,
going
it's
to be
in
on
2
our,
days.
it's going to be on our
Yeah.
agenda,
Right?
which will
That
go
was
out
27th.
tomorrow, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, 5
All
minutes.
right,
Yeah,
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 Monday.
yeah, yeah.
It's Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Monday. Mm-hmm. Okay, that
Well,
works.
maybe they can at
You
least
give
look
us some
at the
time.
application or
Yeah,
some
I
kind
mean,
of,
we're-
something.
We
they
like
could
to hear
read.
things, but we're also
Yeah.
used to looking at something while we get read to.
Understand?
So,
Well, that was our assumption, was 'cause obviously Susan wasn't there, so she got the information from
Yeah, because
us
I
after
wasn't
we
there.
did.
I had to
Like
work.
Jim had talked to her.
Okay.
So it was, the
Well, we
thought
can
was
get the
that,
same information then.
yeah, the thought was that Mark would supply that to you, which was,
Well,
Did you tell him that? Maybe
Yeah,
he
he's-
didn't know.
well, he was the.
He said he was gonna supply them.
And I really didn't even hear much about the interview till the other night at the meeting. They were saying something about the new guy, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's right. They had interviews. I didn't even know how they went. So you know.
so this is the guy who's replacing you. He's the new you.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So. Well, it's good that you get along, but I just wanted to see.
I totally agree. I
This was the
understand.
second meeting I'd had with him. The first was in a meeting over at Ecology where he was representing a private quasi-utility, private community sewer system that he was trying to work with. And Ecology had extended a request if we could provide some technical support along with Pierce County on some of the issues that they had, and he was there to assist in that.
Harstein Island, I remember, their plant, I'm gonna say 6-7 years ago or more, got in big trouble, and they were all underground, literally.
I mean,
And so West Sound did a lot of work. We worked with them for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And to get that changed around, and we actually helped them with their billing, because Mason County kind of dropped them. Just kind of like, good luck, you're on your own. That was part of their plant problems too. So
Well,
and I'm
we got them
serious
back on their
that-
feet.
That
Yeah.
plant, I mean, there was so much, it was almost like it was abandoned, literally.
But also Mason
So-
County had a lot.
And you're saying that
too
Marty
bad.
came in and rescued it?
No.
We turned it over to them, and they hired another guy who didn't follow through, and actually, the Ecology came in and gave a bunch of redirections to this guy, and he didn't do it. So they finally ousted him, and it was Marty that followed him and got them back in line again.
Yeah.
So he's-
Because the guy that they hired, not Marty, the guy before, he was fudging on the samples and I mean, it looked like
They had to take him out of
It
there.
was,
It looked like
a
nothing
bad
was ever
situation
touched, you know?
Because they were really struggling when we got there and did a lot of nice work for them, got back. And we actually, when we turned the plant over to didn't turn over, our contract with them stopped. We continued to do building for them for at least another year, and they took
Couple.
that over also. So it was kind of, we were like, it was a really nice thing to do. We worked well with them, and so it was kind of disheartening to see it kind of go down
Right
again.
downhill.
So.
yeah.
So that was one of the better things with the Marty. This new employee, hopefully, is stepped in and kind of, okay.
Where
let's
does he
get-
live?
He's currently living in
Allen.
Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because,
Oh, that's right.
yeah, because he works in, well, he worked in Tacoma, right?
Right.
The last job was in
But
Tacoma.
then he had Hearthstone, which is on the same
Would-
thing, and
right.
he also,
Mhm.
Taylor Bay is somewhere out that way too.
Yeah, so he's centrally
He was doing
located.
like,
Yeah, and he's
Any
contracted
of
for
those
Taylor
crazy
Bay
guys that
till
like-
Friday.
so
It's
he,
just a part-time.
it actually,
It's not a big plant.
he actually was also entertaining a job in Kennewick
Yeah.
plant that, so he had said that this is a job he would rather have than that one for location of family and this and that. And
Does
So
he
it-
plan to relocate or no?
Yes, his kids already attend South Kitsap schools. He's looking, Marty has done contract services for quite a while, he's been to several plants, and he's looking to basically, and this question was asked of him, if he was considering this a career position. If this was his final stop, or this was just another one that he was looking at to be for a few years
Or a
or
stepping
so.
stone.
And he said, no, I am looking for a career, and there's two options, either this becomes available after the interviews, or I'm going to accept the position in Kennewick. So,
And plus you had real good recommendations from, who was it in Bremerton?
most of the managers that I know and people that work in facilities will speak very highly of Marty. If you want to suspend the meeting for 5 minutes, I can go print the information off for you. Thomas, would you mind? Sure.
4 minutes.
It's now 3.
Yeah, I
So I guess we're moving on with the capital projects update then.
Okay, a few capital projects to update. First is our CIP storage building. As you know, that kind of slowed down there for a while. We had some problems getting some contractors. We were finally able to get someone from east side, I can't remember where it was. Was it Kennewick, I believe? For
Yeah.
doing the CMU block, and the staff currently framing the building. It's almost completed. We have ordered trusses for it. Trusses are approximately 6 months out. They're expected to be delivered on September 14th, next month. So we knew there was quite a wait. There is a long lead time on trusses, unfortunately. Isn't that something? And we have no reason to believe that the project will not be completed prior to the end of the year. Centrifuge replacement project is going well. The screw press is in, and I believe some of the committee members took a look at it at the last meeting. We've wrapped up all the little things. We've got a couple more testings to do. It's just that we're trying to improve efficiency on that piece of equipment, and that's going to be over the next several months. We'll be looking at having different chemical manufacturers come in to see if we can optimize and reduce our operating costs for different various chemicals. And then the other thing that's going on is we did enter into a contract to have the load scale system for the trailers installed, and that project will begin the 1st of September. It's going to take approximately 6 weeks to have those load scales put in. The benefit of that is multifaceted. One will allow us to optimize what we load into the trailers to make sure that we meet our minimums so that we're not paying charges for hauling and tipping if we don't have sufficient weight in trailers. The other is to allow us to maximize it if we need it, give the folks here at the facility some flexibility when loading the trailer. And third, it also helps us to make sure that the weights that we get back from our contract hauler are fairly consistent with what we're seeing on our scales. So currently, we have to take their word for whatever they say the weight is. So, plus, it'll give us the ability to automate the piece of equipment and put in a target weight and have the equipment automatically shut off. And it has reduced significantly the amount of staff time for monitoring and operating that equipment, which has allowed us to get, a little more involved in a few other projects. Rolling into the next one, the membrane replacement project. Staff have gone through, we have 2 trains to our MBR system. Staff have gone through one of the trains and gone through all the pumps, the motors, the equipment, all the transmitters, and are about completed with that one train. And then they'll be moving to relocate our current MBR system infrastructure over to the repair to maintain train and go through the second side. And then we're expecting delivery to start somewhere mid-October of different components components for the replacements and modifications to the system. And then we'll start the process of, with the manufacturer of getting those installed. That project's due to be completed by the end of November. Also, some of the modifications that we are having done to the system, as we've upgraded the modules so they're independent. If you remember some of the problems we had, if we had any issues, it had totally disassembled the cassettes. Now it's kind of a plug and play. One strip of module can come out of a cassette without having to tear the whole thing apart. Also reduce significantly the weight on the frames so that we don't have those structural problems with stress fractures in the metal that we had before. And also there's some energy conservation measures being implemented with the updated programming to reduce some of the energy cost in operating the system. And that's it for our CIPs. That's where we're at.
This one thing you should add was how much horsepower with the new centrifuge. That's interesting.
The horsepower that we had before, if memory serves me correctly, it was taking about, 75 horsepower to run the old centrifuge, and we're down to, I want to say somewhere around 7.
Oh,
Wow.
So a
That's a-
significant reduction in horsepower.
huh.
However, I did apply for an energy conservation grant. It wasn't big enough for PSE to do. We would only get a few $100s. They have a different target point, a different formula for figuring those energy conservation projects. So it was a little difficult for us. And for the amount of money we were gonna get, we just felt it would have cost us more to go through all the funding and all the whole process that we would have had to versus what we would return for cost on investment. So we opted not to move forward with that one. However, this project out here, I'm still working on it with the engineers from Xenon Environmental and Suez. We about have it wrapped up for determining what the energy savings are going to be for the energy conservation measures and program that we have for the MBR replacement. And we're hoping that will qualify for some kind of funding from PSE, at least a few $1,000s or something. The last one, I think on that one there, it just did not pan out horsepower wise. It wasn't good enough for them, so. Okay, you want to move on to the city district ERU? So the city and the district provided all the ERU counts for 2018, which apply to the 2019 budget. The ERU counts are, not much of an increase as everyone had expected. There's a 49-51 split between the city and the district. Last year it was 50-50. The city came up with 5,521 ERUs, which is an increase of 41 ERUs. And the district has 5,668, which is an increase of 45 ERUs. So looks like we grew about the same. We're kind of at that tipping point on the split on percentages. But we do anticipate, or from what we're seeing on our end, we do anticipate that we'll see a little more significant growth in 2019, which should drive those numbers up. And I'm sure the city's pretty much in the same position. A lot of inquiries on utility services. We're seeing some movement on some of these areas that have been bought and development that began. We're really starting to see those move now. Matter of fact, in our utility, we supply an apparatus for people for temporary water on construction sites, and we have 2 left on the shelf. So we're looking at purchasing more because there's people inquiring about getting those on their sites. What I get from staff, we've never been in a situation where we've got down that low. So there's lots of things going on. So we anticipate that will continue through next year and be better ERU counts and growth for both the city and the district than it was this year. And as I spoke earlier, we want to provide in October, when we talk about the meeting date, we'll provide the budget for the sewer advisory committee, and we'll go over that. Any questions on the ERU counts?
That's pretty much anticipated, wasn't it? the 239 split? I mean,
I think it's a little lower than we expected.
Yeah, we expected it to be,
Just a
we
little
actually
higher?
had anticipated based on, conversation and things that happened. We thought the city would have pulled out a little further. We were kind of surprised that our ERUs were kind of similar for the year. Thought you folks would have had a little more growth going on.
It sounded like we had a lot.
Well, it
Yeah.
did for us too, but I think a lot of things kind of got going but never really fully matured. So they didn't come to fruition, and therefore we didn't see the ERU increases that we thought we would. But I think we're going to see them next
Next
go
year.
around. Yeah.
We're still number one.
Not for long.
There's a couple small
license
areas,
on.
and we're
Of
looking
course, you
at a
really wanna be
couple
number one.
of potential
No.
large multifamily.
Ah.
But everything's right there. I mean, like, one of the developments is ready to go off of Blueberry back there, you
Oh,
know.
wow.
But
And there's,
You guys are Blueberry, okay.
yeah, and so there's a
okay.
lot of stuff going on
Yeah.
back here, but no houses yet. But just got approval, I think, for the water sewer, and they're just right on the edge of starting to build here shortly, I think. And
So from my perspective on what I'm seeing, and it's only been a few weeks up there, I'm seeing that there's a lot of buildable land in this area. It appears that Kitsap County is kind of, especially the south end, I'm not familiar with what's going on in the north end, but just in the south end, it looks like there's a little overflow and a little desire for growth in this area. I don't know if it's a fast ferry, I don't know if it's issues down in Gig Harbor, if there's various things.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
the
know.
moratorium.
Yeah, that's what I heard, but I didn't
Yeah.
know for sure. And so we've got, or we've had a lot of inquiries on multifamily in different areas, but nothing has really, started the process. It's just inquiries.
well, we got the small apartments right there, or condos or whatever, right behind the
At
theater.
the theater.
Right.
Like that
okay.
one. But, once again, they're not finished, but they're really coming along. They're
Yeah, and that one
It's some
off
other
of Horseman
units.
Yeah.
Prospect,
Yeah.
is that it?
Mhm.
That, they're just starting to
Is it
build.
Prosperity Place?
Yeah, that one
yeah.
right on Horseman.
That's on the
there.
really steep.
That was like
Right.
forever
Okay.
trying to get out of the
Yeah.
ground, and now there's a couple little houses they're working
And
on.
that's been
so-
going on for almost 3 years.
I know, it's
So,
just been forever.
It's just some of those things, and of course, we thought they were gonna come in this year, but it looks, and they're starting to build now.
Yeah,
so-
they're starting to build.
But, by the time they
Might
get
have a
built,
house
there's
or
only
two
gonna be a
there.
few ERUs on this year.
That's funny, because that's
Yeah.
in the city limits.
Yeah.
But it's in the district.
Right.
Waterford,
Well, we
so it's-
overlap.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you got it.
Yeah, I think the thing to remember as far as for the city, we have seen a ton of development, but it's larger plats that take a long time
Right.
to develop.
Yes.
And so, if you look at McCormick, Parcel E was just recorded. We have a lot of recorded plats that are going like gangbusters. So our numbers will be based off of plat should be significantly higher next year.
Same here. That's
Yeah.
what we're looking at.
And
I
isn't
mean-
there another little development off of Sedgwick across from Fisher
yeah.
Dentistry?
What's that one called?
Isn't there like apartments or something happening? Who told me that?
Oh, I thought it was
Michael.
like
Before he left.
west of Sydney, right?
There
Sydney
was
says
an
right there.
Yeah.
inquiry as to the
And, Fred
availability
Myers,
of water
yeah,
sewer
right next
for
door to Fred Myers,
multifamily.
across from
But
Fisher
there's
Dentistry.
been nothing defined as that was going through. There's just an inquiry.
Yeah, kind of like right in that, right across, somewhere in there. you
Yeah, there's a
know.
car wash, and there's another one going in. We
Another
heard,
car wash?
but, no, it's supposed to be another coffee place.
Oh.
No, I think that's
An
an
apartment next to
apartment.
the car.
Yeah,
car
it's
wash?
the apartments
somewhere.
across.
Okay.
There's
Across
land
the street.
across
Yeah.
from,
Okay.
Next to.
next to Fred Myers.
Right, there's 3 parcels of property and an
Right.
inquiry's
Yeah.
been made. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's somewhere close to, based on the information that I got from the engineering firm, it's close to somewhere between, I'm gonna say 60 and 100 ERUs.
Oh, wow.
But
Yeah.
there's no engineered plans, there's
Right.
no development plans,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
simply an inquiry,
Inquiry.
3 segregated parcels of property that have yet to be merged on availability
Mhm.
of services.
That's a good
So-
location they can walk to groceries.
Yeah, and wasn't it too that part of this, inquiry, that they were gonna build like retail down below maybe and
Oh,
apartments up top? That's
okay.
that's the going
Yeah.
thing
Oh, I
now,
like that.
That was,
Yeah.
I like it.
There was
I-
discussion, but not
Because
clearly
Michael was kind of
identified.
just, you know, I mean, he was just
Oh.
saying that this is
Yeah, not
That's
clearly
the
kind of what
concept.
was being
no.
thrown
Oh,
out
nice.
there at
Oh,
the time,
okay.
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I think,
Actually,
I
they
do
should build
too.
apartments on top of Fred Meyer. They do that in Seattle.
I tell you,
Right, all
where you need apartments is on top of the theater. That is the best view property
I
in
know.
the street.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know,
that
they're
is
gonna have a
beautiful.
$1,000,000
Yeah.
view.
Yeah.
It's
That is
beautiful. But I know
wasted.
all.
Wasted, yeah.
Oh.
But you should have a real nice restaurant up there, or
Uh-huh.
a couple nice
It would
restaurants.
be very high end.
That's not low-income housing, I'm sure there are
Yeah.
gonna be some great ones will spring up there.
Because I know on Bridgeport, you know, like going all up and down Bridgeport, because they've done so much work there in the last 10 years, you know. But a lot of stuff, you know, with the retail
Mhm.
apartments, huge stuff all the way.
We're gonna be
You
seeing a
know.
lot more of that too.
Oh yeah, that's the going thing. That way there they can kind of kill two birds with one stone. They can get the retail in and housing.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Is that it?
That's it, unless you have any questions.
I
Did you
think-
talk about the
The next meeting?
next meeting is gonna be possibly the 10th instead of the 17th of
Yes, and
October?
that was the proposal I had mentioned earlier, to be able to provide you with the SCORF budget, is
Oh, okay.
to have the meeting on the 10th. That would allow us to, you know, have plenty of time, we could get it through. Give you a
Second
chance-
Wednesday?
Second Wednesday. Give you an opportunity to look through it, see if there's any questions. You know, give Noah a chance to look
District?
through it.
District?
It's
Or here.
City of Port Orchard.
Oh, City of Port Orchard.
Right.
We'll have to double check on that.
I believe that it is.
Oh, you already checked?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So would the 10th work for you?
Yeah.
Okay,
10th of October.
10th of October.
Nice. Okay. I think that's it then. This is a very good meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I move for adjournment.
Okay.
Second?
We're adjourned. There you go.